Welcome students, welcome to the new session of Eden Guru. In the present session we are going to enter in the new field of organic chemistry, that is about the preparation and the properties of the various compounds. Now here we are beginning with the hydrocarbons. Before we start with the hydrocarbon, I would like to ask one question. Can any one of you answer what is hydrocarbon? Okay, Tavish, you tell me what are hydrocarbons?
Sir, compounds of carbon and hydrogen are known as hydrocarbons.
Yeah, very true. These are the compounds of hydrogen and carbon. Since we know that organic compounds contains carbon, hydrogen, sometimes oxygen, sometimes phosphorus, nitrogen, etc. Those are called derivatives of hydrocarbon. If you take alcohol, in alcohol one of the H is being replaced by OH. That means it is a derivative of hydrocarbon or hydroxy derivative of hydrocarbon. If you take alkyl halide, it is called halide derivative of hydrocarbon. But basically all organic compounds are somehow produced from hydrocarbon. Before we proceed next, I would like to ask one more question, that what type of hydrocarbon you all are aware of? Shivani, you tell what are the types of hydrocarbon?
Sir, they are of two types, saturated and unsaturated.
Yeah, very true. There are of two types of hydrocarbon there, saturated and unsaturated. But unsaturated hydrocarbons are further classified, which according to me is not very much relevant, but we classify them into alkene and alkyne. Let us see how many types of hydrocarbons we have. It is not just saturated, unsaturated, but we also have cyclic hydrocarbon, and in cyclic hydrocarbon there is again category. So let us first classify how many types of hydrocarbon do we have. Originally they are of three types. One are called open chain, another called alicyclic, and another one are called aromatic. Though we can also have one more category, that is called anti-aromatic, but basic categories are three. Open chain hydrocarbons are further of two types. They can be saturated and unsaturated, and in the similar way alicyclic hydrocarbon can also be of two types. They can also be saturated, unsaturated, and aromatic hydrocarbon we know very well. Now in unsaturated hydrocarbon there are further categorization into ene and ine. That means alkene and alkyne. Though there are certain other categories we can mention about, that is conjugated dienes or dienes, or we can say trienes and enine. That means diene is present, triene is also present. So there are various possible categories, but in general that is what the classification is. Now we have to go for the further, for the preparation part of these hydrocarbons, how to synthesize them, how to prepare them. Now there are certain methods for specifically for certain types of hydrocarbon, and there are certain methods which are generalized. Now generalized methods are there for the preparation of most of the hydrocarbons, that mean both alkane, alkene and alkyne. And if we go for specialized method, then they are specifically for alkane. There are certain methods which are specifically for alkene, and there are certain methods which are specific for alkyne only. Let us start with general method. For the preparation general methods for the preparation of hydrocarbon. When we are talking about hydrocarbon, our main concern is about alkane, alkene and alkyne. So what general methods we are going to discuss? These general methods are about the preparation of alkane, about the preparation of alkene and about the preparation of alkyne. One of the method is from metal carbides. One of the method is from metal carbides. We know very well what are metal carbides. Metal carbides are the compounds where metal is in association with the carbon directly, and in that case carbon is going to have some negative charge, because carbon is the non-metal. Being a non-metal, carbon is more electronegative than the metal, so carbon is going to exhibit a negative state and metal obviously is having some positive state. Let us start with the first example that is very well known to each one of you, that is calcium carbide treated with water. It results calcium hydroxide plus C2H2, that is acetylene. So such kind of carbides which are resulting into acetylene are called acetylide. So calcium carbide is, we can also call it calcium acetylide, because after reacting with the water it produces acetylene. Let us go for the next equation, that is Al4C3, that is aluminium carbide. When we made it to react with water, it produces AlOH whole thrice plus CH4. So Al4C3 we will call methanide. Methanide, that means that produce methane. Just like that, we have beryllium carbide, that is Be2C, and when we made it to react with water, it again produces beryllium hydroxide along with the methane, BeOH whole twice along with the methane. So this is also methanide. We can have another metal carbide, that is Mg2C3. Now what Mg2C3 will produce, when we treat it with water, it will produce MgOH whole twice plus C3H4, and if we go according to the general formulas, then C3H4 is the general formula for alkyne. That means it may have a structure CH3C triple bond CH. It can also be a diene, cumulative diene, not conjugated, cumulative diene. It can be a cumulative diene, but cumulative dienes are not much stable. Therefore, we call it propionide, Mg2C3, or alkynide. Alkynide, that means that is going to produce some kind of alkyne over there. Alkynide, going to produce some kind of alkyne there. So that is called alkynide. So they are basic hydrocarbon, basic metal carbides producing hydrocarbon. Now we have to note it down. If suppose some unknown example is there in front of you, how will you answer that? Is there anything common we can notice about all of them? The common thing is every metal is forming the corresponding hydroxide. And how many OH are being attached to the metal? According to the positive oxidation state of the metal. If you see calcium, calcium is here in the +2 state. If calcium is having +2 charge, then both the carbon collectively having -2 charge, that means each carbon is having -1 charge. To neutralize the -1 charge, carbon will get added with one hydrogen only. Therefore, only one hydrogen with one carbon, it is only acetylene. We cannot have any other combination for it. On the other hand, when we will go for Al4C3, the oxidation number of aluminium is +3, therefore the oxidation number of each carbon is going to be -4. -4 means each carbon should get saturated with the 4 hydrogen, and there is just one hydrocarbon where a carbon is getting saturated with 4 hydrogen, and that hydrocarbon is methane only. And therefore the same situation is for the next example. Beryllium is present in the +2 oxidation state and carbon is having -4. So -4 state, so carbon should get saturated with the 4 hydrogen. There is only one hydrocarbon that has 4 hydrogen attached to it, and that is methane. In the next case, we will see magnesium has oxidation state +2, and in the carbon the oxidation state is collectively it is -4 charge on the 3 carbon, or we can say individual it is -4/3. If one carbon has -4/3, we cannot differentiate the number of hydrogen, but if we will add the all 3 carbon and the charges on them, then it is going to be -4 overall. That means there are 4 hydrogen getting added over 3 carbon, and therefore the formula is going to be C3H4. Now we know very well that the general formula for alkane is CnH2n plus 2. That is the general formula for alkane. General formula for alkene is CnH2n, that is for alkene, and general formula for alkyne is CnH2n minus 2, that is the general formula for alkyne. So if we will proceed according to the general formula, and we can find out whatever be the unit negative charge on the carbon, that is the number of hydrogen going to get add over there. Units of the negative charge over the carbon, that much units of hydrogen are going to get add. That is what the concept behind preparation of hydrocarbons from metal carbide is. What you need to do, you need to find out the oxidation state of carbon over there, and corresponding to the oxidation state, hydrogen atoms will be added to the carbon, resulting the hydrocarbon over there. By the generalized formula, you can find out whether the produced hydrocarbon is going to be an alkane, or it is going to be an alkene, or it is going to be an alkyne. So we can predict out. Let us move to the next preparation, and the next preparation is from Grignard reagent. From Grignard reagent. Now very first question is, what is the Grignard reagent? Actually it is again a kind of metal carbide, but it has something different, some different properties. Metal carbide, when we take alkyl halide Rx and we made it to react with magnesium in the presence of dry ether, we made it to react with magnesium in the presence of dry ether. We will discuss the details of it, why we have taken dry ether, we are not taking some other solvent. As a result of this reaction, we will get R MgX. In this case, magnesium is having plus 2 unit charge, and therefore according to the plus 2 unit charge, both halogen and carbon are having minus 1 unit charge. Now we know very well, with respect to R group, the conjugate acid is RH, and RH is a very weak acid. What will happen? R minus is very strong base. So if we will have this mixture anywhere wherever is acidic hydrogen is present, it will take hydrogen and form the corresponding hydrocarbon. So that is what the generalized preparation is. Let us see, let us look at this. RMgX, if it is getting reacted with water, that means the solution is having some moisture, then it will take R minus will take hydrogen from the moisture. If it is getting reacted with some of the alcohol, then of course hydrogen attached to oxygen is also acidic. If we made it to react with some of the amine, that is RNH2, that is having nitrogen, hydrogen attached to nitrogen, or we made it to react with ammonia, or we made it to react with H2S, or we made it to react with RSH. That means hydrogen directly attached to halogen, hydrogen directly attached to oxygen, hydrogen directly attached to carbon, hydrogen directly attached to nitrogen, hydrogen directly attached to sulfur. If any of such hydrogen we do have, then R part will form corresponding hydrocarbon. Now this R part depends on us. How? We can have various things as a R. Let us say we can have C2H5MgX. If we made it to react, it will produce C2H6, that is an alkane. We can also have C2H3MgX. In this case, if we will made it to react with any of the component having acidic hydrogen, it will form C2H4. That is going to be an alkene. Now in the next part, let us go. If we made it to react with C3H3MgX and we made it to react with water, then it forms C3H4. and that is going to be an alkyne. So this is again a method with which we can synthesize alkane, alkene and alkyne, though most commonly the method is employed for the preparation of alkanes, but here we can have alkene and alkyne as well in the products. Now let us go for the next method, that is also the generalized method for the preparation of hydrocarbons, and that is Kolbe electrolysis. The next method is Kolbe's electrolysis. First of all, we should know what is electrolysis. That's a very important and a significant and a relevant question. What is electrolysis? Electrolysis is a process of breaking down some chemicals with the help of electrical current. So let us take one example. If this is a solution, and in this solution we have two electrodes, one of the electrode that is attached to the positive terminal of the battery is called anode. Why it is called anode? Because anion of the solution is moving towards it. Another electrode that is attached to the negative terminal of the battery is called cathode, because cation is moving towards it. Now if in the solution whatever be the cation or anion we do have, now what happened? Cation will move towards cathode, and since cathode is a negative electrode, will get electronated over there. If it will get electronated, that means reduction takes place. At cathode, what takes place is the reduction, and since anode is a positive electrode, so that will absorb electron, that will take up all the electrons that are present in the anion. So anion will lose electron, and therefore anion is going to get oxidized. So at anode oxidation takes place, and at cathode reduction takes place. That is the basic process of electrolysis. Now let us go for the methods of electrolysis, and with the electrolysis what kind of hydrocarbons we can have. Let us electrolyze in very first case, that is electrolysis of sodium acetate. Electrolysis of CH3COONA, and this is the aqueous solution. Using platinum electrodes, because we can have some other types of electrode, and electrode is going to influence the nature of product. So we use inert electrode, that is platinum electrode. Some of you may think of that we are taking platinum electrode because we are so rich. It's not about the richness, it is about the inertness. You know, platinum, gold, silver, they are the inert metals. So we want to take one electrode that is not going to react, that is not going to participate in the reaction, and the role of electrode is just to transfer electrons and just to absorb electrons. In this case, what happened when we look at cathode? At cathode we have two types of cations. At cathode we have two types of cations, one we have Na plus and another we have H plus. But we know very well what? Na plus is the metal, and metals are having tendency to lose electron rather than to gain electron, whereas H plus is non-metal. So definitely the tendency to gain electron for H plus is much more than that of Na plus. So when we talk about the reduction, which out of Na plus and H plus is going to reduce? Definitely it is H plus. H plus is going to gain one electron, and it is forming hydrogen gas. Now when we move at anode, what is the reaction at anode? That is also very important for us to notice. What is the reaction at anode? At anode we have CH3COO minus along with the OH minus. Since the concentration of CH3CO minus in solution is more and its oxidation potential is having higher value, therefore it will get oxidized and it will lose one electron. When it will lose one electron, it will form a species something like this, and that is a kind of free radical. Now this free radical will further split, release CH3 radical and CO2 gas. Now what happens with the CH3 radical? This CH3 radical will combine with the other CH3 radical and form what? Ethane. The CH3 radical combine with other CH3 radical. As a result of this combination, we will get ethane. In this case, if we are getting 1 mole ethane, along with the 1 mole ethane, we would be getting 1 mole hydrogen, along with we will be getting 2 moles of carbon dioxide. We can also find out number of moles of respective species obtained as a result of this redox process. Now, this is not the only story. The story is still left. There are certain things as well. If we carry out electrolysis not of sodium acetate, electrolysis of some higher states, let's say sodium propanoate. Let us start other examples, because when we'll see other examples, we'll come out with a different story. Because when we have only methyl radical is having just one possibility to combine with the other methyl radical. But when radicals do interact, their interactions are of two types. One is the coupling and another is the disproportionation. They may undergo disproportionation. So let us discuss the other examples. Let us discuss electrolysis of sodium propanoate, that is CH3 CH2 COONA. Now we know when we move at cathode we are having sodium and hydrogen, just two things, Na plus and H plus, and out of H plus and Na plus, the one which is going to get reduced is the H plus, because of the same reason we discussed in the previous example. So we will get hydrogen at cathode. But when we talk about anode, then at anode the case is going to be different. At anode, here we have OH minus and CH3 CH2 C double bond O minus. As I mentioned earlier as well, that for carboxylate ion the oxidation potential is higher, therefore carboxylate ion is going to get oxidized. When it will lose one electron, what we will get? We will get CH3 CH2 C double bond O radical, and now we know since this radical will lose CO2, this radical will lose CO2 and gives CH3 CH2 radical plus CO2. Now for CH3 CH2 radical, there are two possibilities, as I told you earlier. One of the possibilities is coupling. If coupling takes place, both the radicals couple mutually and they will form C4H10. C4H10, that is butane. That is butane. They will form C4H10. But the other possibility is disproportionation. The other possibility is disproportionation. Though the possibility of disproportionation is less, but there is a possibility, so we cannot neglect it. In case of disproportionation, it is CH3 CH2 radical, and that is going to combine with the other CH3 CH2 radical. Okay, so let us see, one is the coupling reaction, one possibility that both the radicals will couple mutually and they result butane, the formation of C4H10. But there is one more possibility, that is the disproportionation, that one of the radical will abstract H radical from the other species and the other radicals will couple internally, that means intramolecular coupling. How does it take place? This radical will takes up this hydrogen and this radical formed over here will combine with this, resulting one CH3 CH3 and another CH2 double bond CH2. So in case if the question is asked, what are the products obtained in case of the electrolysis of sodium propanoate, major product is undoubtedly be butane, but minor products is ethane and ethene. So that is the important thing. That is about the preparation of alkane. Now let us see the preparation of alkene. How do we prepare alkene? Now let us take one example. Example is the sodium succinate or the sodium salt of succinic acid. Let us discuss the next electrolysis. Electrolysis of CH2COONA, CH2COONA. In this case, again we have cathode and anode. Now at cathode what happens? At cathode we have the same thing, Na plus and H plus. Cathode we have Na plus and H plus, and H plus is going to accept electrons because it is having more tendency to accept electron, that will form H2 gas. On the other hand, what happens at anode? At anode we have OH minus and CH2 C double bond O minus, CH2 C double bond O minus. Now it will lose 2 electrons. As a result of loss of electron, we will be having CH2 C double bond O, O radical, CH2 C double bond O, O radical. As a result of these radicals, now what will happen? These radicals will be intended to lose CO2. So therefore it will lose CO2 from this part, and this radical will lose CO2 from this part. This electron will couple with that electron. This electron will couple with that electron, and as a result these radicals will combine here. So we will get ethene, CH2 double bond CH2 plus twice of CO2. Now ethene is also gaseous, CO2 is also gaseous, and hydrogen is also gaseous. So in this case, by the change of 2 equivalents of electrons, by the change of 2 Faraday or 2 electrons, how many gaseous molecules do we have? 1 hydrogen at cathode, and the gases obtained at anode are 3 moles. 1 is of ethene and 2 moles are of CO2. Besides this, if we have another example, that is the electrolysis of sodium malate, that means the sodium salt of maleic acid. Maleic acid is CHCOONA double bond CHCOONA, sodium malate, that is sodium malate. Maleic acid, the corresponding salt of maleic acid. In this case, if we look at cathode, what happened? At cathode again we have 2 species, Na plus and H plus, that is H plus and Na plus. Out of these 2 species, H plus will accept electron and will get reduced to form hydrogen gas. And what will happen at anode? At anode, the picture is same as in case of previous example. We have OH minus and we have carboxylate ion. Since we know the carboxylate ion is having high oxidation potential, so the tendency of carboxylate ion to oxidize is more, and that will lose 2 electrons. As a result of loss of 2 electrons, what we will have? We will have CH C double bond O, O radical, CH C double bond O, O radical. Now these radicals will lose CO2 and as a result of the combination of alkyl part, we will get ethyne. So therefore we can say the three methods we discussed so far are for alkane, alkene and alkyne. One is from metal carbides, another is from Grignard reagent, and another one is by electrolysis or by Kolbe electrolysis. Therefore we have completed this part. and in the next session we are going to discuss about exclusive preparations of alkane. Till then, take care, keep learning, study well, bye bye.